One path leads back to the world I left behind. The other path...
The narration in this guy's head is lagging well behind what he's written on the page. He's already written 2 paragraphs past his opening lines. Also, since the quill is on the middle of the page that he already filled in, he's writing over the stuff he just wrote. Well, I'm sure Matrix Revolution is happy someone liked it enough to borrow a scene from it. Brrr. You should have put on shoes before magically teleporting to another world. You are barefoot on a glacier.
What are you doing here? You cannot be here. It will find you.
As a warning, this game is the Olympics of the pronoun game. No one will ever speak clearly about anything, it will just offer vague directions without clarification.
Go back the way you came, quickly. You cannot stay. It is here. What have you done?
Why even warn him to leave and go back if he only had like 3 seconds before the undreaming appeared? To me, this looks like one of those sticky toys you get out of a 50-cent convenience store vending machine. But I guess it can be a threat to existence as well. I know enough about hentai to know where this is going. Just be grateful the game cut to black.
They say that every story has a beginning and an end.
They say that, do they? I'm pretty sure that's actually just common knowledge that doesn't need stating.
Sometimes, however, the two are one and the same.
Reverse chronology is not that difficult of a concept to grasp in storytelling, nor is it something to be impressed with.
My name is Zoe Castillo. I don't usually look this pale, but that's what you get for being in a coma.
You know how it's said that coma patients can understand everything happening around them? Turns out they can narrate and break the fourth wall too.
That's my father, Gabriel. I'm all he's got in this world. My mother died 15 years ago and I don't have any siblings.
Zoe's mother is dead. She just fulfilled the first requirement for being a video game protagonist.
You'll have to forgive me for using the oldest cliche in the book.
Nope, I will be sending every one of them.
It all began when...
The reason Zoe trails off instead of finishing her narration is because the full statement is, it all started when I was watching TV one day. Not exactly great prose.
Several.
Did you plug in a haunted VHS tape or something? Zoe's phone rings right after seeing a Ring-style horror video. Unfortunately, the person on the other end doesn't whisper 7 days. It's the future, but the future is envisioned by people from 2006. That's why all the phones look like old bulletproof Nokias. A short-haired brunette walking around her home in her underwear? Am I playing a David Cage game?
This is an automatic reminder sent by... Shit. The gym.
Even in the future, gym memberships are still annoying.
Bombay?
Good Lord, Zoe. Did you forget already? We spoke about it on Tuesday. I'm going on a business trip to Bombay, remember?
Oh, Bombay, right.
There are better ways of giving exposition other than having the main character forget everything she's been told the day before the game started.
Don't you think I miss having direction and ambitions? Now I'm just... I just don't know what I want.
Even though it's the 23rd century, 20-somethings still have the same mentality and problems that millennials do today. I just want to point out that this game was released 3 years after The Ring. Was it really that influential on the developers?
Hey, did you see that?
See what, sweetie?
Olivia wasn't even in the room. How could you expect her to see a haunted TV message?
Want to be invisible? Just tap the screen. Well, actually, you select menu and applications, and then the icon that looks like a penguin, and then activate. But that's like 1, 2, 3, okay, 4 taps.
4 taps to activate an app on your phone? Lady, you ask too much. This is why Telltale adventure games stick with QuickTime events rather than have actual combat. This TV right next to the stairwell is so out of the way that it could only be used for sending cryptic messages to someone about to leave the gym.
It's looking pretty big.
Can you tell me anything about it?
I can't, I'm sorry.
Come on, not even a hint.
You know I never talk about the stories I'm working on. That wouldn't be ethical. And it wouldn't be safe.
You can tell her that you're working on a big new story and how exciting it is, but then refuse details when she inevitably takes interest. Then ask her to go pick up a package directly related to your new story that you know is dangerous.
I don't really care about anything anymore. I don't have any goals or ambitions, and I hate feeling like this.
Man, this game really nailed an entire generation of people before that generation even started complaining.
It's an official Casablanca city cab. Not only are they free, they're super comfy.
Free public transportation? What the hell?
No, I already told you she's not here. We're closed, so I'd like you to leave. Now.
Why is a security camera from the lab broadcasting to this television in the reception area? Lobby televisions usually only display company promotional videos, and security cameras only display to security rooms.
I probably owe you my thanks for saving my life.
There is no probably for something like that. She saved your life.
And why is the door to his apartment open?
Has anyone ever asked themselves that question and not found a dead body inside?
Hands behind your head!
Listen,
I warned you!
Wow, just like the cops we have today.
State your name and CID number for the record.
I was scanned when I was brought in. You know who I am.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why are you demanding her identity when you already know who she is?
Okay, so I was helping Reza out. He asked me to pick up the package for him, but he didn't know what was in it. He never saw it. Whatever was inside, the only person responsible is Helena Chang.
I'm pretty sure Reza would have some idea of what you were picking up for him. Also, we never find out what was on the data cube Zoe got from Dr. Chang or why Reza wanted it. So after finding Zoe in the apartment of a wanted man along with a dead woman on the floor and holding a data cube full of sensitive information, the authorities just let Zoe go home after a night of questioning.
Hello, Zoe.
Dad?
I'm sorry, but I'm currently away from my phone.
Who starts a voicemail message by saying hello to a single person. With all these flying cars in the background, it makes me wonder why Zoe is stuck driving around on the ground.
This is Reza. I, modified Wonkers a bit to make him play a pre-recorded message in case something happened to me.
Reza had Zoe go to the laboratory to pick up a package, then snuck into her home to reprogram a robot with a pre-recorded message in case he went missing. You could have just not got your ex-girlfriend involved in something you knew was dangerous, or at least warned her beforehand, and then you ask her to do something dangerous again in the event that you go missing. What a dick.
I keep an updated copy of my notebook in my apartment at all times. I wire over my notes and research twice a day.
You wire over your notes to a paper notebook?
I don't know what to do. Reza's disappeared and the eye's looking for him.
I need you to slow down, sweetie.
She wasn't speaking all that fast.
I think he's in serious trouble, Liv.
Calm down, sweetie. I'm sure he's all right.
There was a dead woman in his apartment and he's wanted by the police. Why would you assume he's all right in this situation? Is this normal for him?
You must have the worst hangover in history.
Not once in her story did Zoe mention getting drunk. What the hell are you talking about?
Let me tell you how this hack works. The firewall's got these symbols that are difficult to automatically decipher. Don't ask me why, it's a mystery.
In other words, our hacking minigame makes no sense. Why did the police confiscate Reza's computer and robot after they raided his apartment? All it seems they did was arrest Zoe, remove the body, and lock the door.
Reza's notepad. Locked and encrypted.
It's a spiral notepad. You can't lock that. Here's a person who knows where the camera is. So these two break into Reza's apartment, choke Zoe unconscious, then leave when they get a message without taking the notebook or killing Zoe. They literally do nothing but introduce themselves into the story.
Didn't I see that same cat yesterday?
You did. The game made a big deal about it too. However, this is the last time you ever see the cat, and the game never brings it up again or explains what it was about.
I need time to decrypt this thing. It's got some heavy locks on it. Except for the final entry. For some reason, that's only got basic encryption. Which Reza knows I'd be able to quickly crack. Of course! He wants us to read it.
Which is strange, because Reza wanted you to take his notebook to his editor. Now he's left notes that Olivia can decrypt easily just so Zoe can go looking for him. Elon Musk finally created his Hyperloop. We interrupt your sci-fi thriller to bring you an episode of Game of Thrones. I used to be an adventurer like you. Oh, wrong game.
Hold on.
What is it?
Frozen water. I haven't seen this before.
I find that hard to believe, since you're walking through a forest covered in snow. Chances are you've come across plenty of ice by now.
Shh. Did you hear something?
Yeah, I think you should have seen something too, since she stood up to cast her spell in clear sight of you. Dark Souls, this is not.
Right now it's the middle of the afternoon.
It was dark outside when you arrived in the city. That is not the middle of the afternoon.
Where's Charlie again?
He's right over on the other side of the bar.
He's also the only person in the club. Not that hard to find.
If you have any information, it would be worth a lot to me.
Is that so? Like what? Money? Or are you offering me something else, like yourself?
Back in 2006, you could still get away with dialogue like this in your game.
I'm not...
You don't need to answer that, girl. I get it. You must love this guy a lot. That's all I needed to know.
That is not how you find out if someone loves someone or not. Zoe being offended is the normal reaction a woman would have to what you just asked, not just the reaction of a girl looking for the guy she likes.
Your friend? He was here last night.
Last night? But he left your name and address in his notebook days ago when he went missing. There's no reason why Reza can't call Zoe instead of having her hunt him down across multiple continents.
There are stories. They say the place isn't really a hotel, but some kind of front for... I don't know. And I don't want to know.
Apparently those stories end in a cliffhanger, since you don't know what the hotel actually is from the stories you've heard.
Yes, you. You see anybody else around? Didn't think so, no. Welcome to Best Shop in Venice.
Back in 2006, you could still get away with racist stereotypes like this. Look, it was a different time. A lot changes in 10 years.
It's a digital padlock.
That's possibly the dumbest invention I've ever seen. Why put a digital screen on a padlock if you're also going to have a keyhole? What does making a padlock digital accomplish other than making it susceptible to shorting out in the rain?
And you need a lockpick.
And what's the point of it being digital if it can still be opened with a lockpick? Shouldn't it be using a retina scanner or something? We're supposed to assume that all this blood is Reza since we know he planned to sneak into this hotel and Zoe found his lighter next to the blood. However, the game never actually confirms it or not. In fact, Reza becomes nothing but a convenient excuse to get Zoe from one location to the next, since he never appears in the game again, nor do we find out what happened to him.
Zoe!
That girl, is she here?
April Ryan. Save her.
Ghost Girl certainly knows how to be cryptic. However, she is not good at giving details. Zoe discovering who April Ryan is more due to blind luck than anything the ghost is telling her.
Good afternoon. This is the Victory Hotel, right? I need a room. I'll be staying until Tuesday.
This guy doesn't instantly call Zoe on a lie, even though he should know that both the front and back doors are locked, meaning she should be able to get inside to even ask for a room. He should also know that the only way Zoe could be in this back room is if she came through the security room that's covered in bloodstains.
Let me take a look around, see if this place is to my liking. I'll come right back here when I'm done.
He actually lets Zoe wander around, even though he knows that right upstairs there are people hooked up to dream machines. This hotel is clearly no longer a hotel and is just a front for an illegal operation, so why would anyone allow this? Rather than jump across the short gap in the fire escape to room 201, Zoe has to make a rope from curtains and towels to climb down from the floor above. Somehow this photo of April Ryan survived the building being remodeled from a student dorm into a hotel, and the guy who lives in this room now never threw it out.
It's an old videograph.
I don't want to tell this game it's wrong for coming up with new names for things in a sci-fi setting, but that's a photograph. I would assume a videograph would have something to do with an actual video.
I'm looking for a friend of mine.
So what the fuck makes you think you'll find him here?
He's a reporter. He was researching a story.
A what?
Shouldn't you already know about that? Reza's lighter was right next to a pool of blood in the security room, and you run this place, so I'm assuming you had him killed or beaten, or at the very least knew about it.
You should come back here around 10. I'll order a pizza, get a bottle of wine.
This is the start of a disturbing trend of every character wanting to sleep with Zoe.
Could you tell me anything about this picture? That's you, isn't it?
Jesus Christ, where did you find this?
Well, she did just finish telling you by going to the building where you used to live. Finding a photo of you and your friends there isn't too out of the ordinary.
I've heard the name April Ryan recently. I've been seeing things on screens back in Casablanca at the hotel. Strange, creepy things.
Have you ever seen The Ring before? Sort of like that. Once again, the twins ambush Zoe and instead of killing her, hook her up to a dream machine and leave. There's really no reason as far as I can tell for them to do this, but at least it transports Zoe to another world. Ah, I see they went with the Tim Burton era of architecture.
Please, what do you want with me?
Find April Ryan. Hurry, Zoe, hurry!
Could you maybe tell her why? Even a ghost child should understand the importance of details. Couldn't animate that doll in her hands, huh? Just despawned it in clear view. I think you could easily escape from this situation by taking a few steps to the side. Whenever you arrive in a strange world, you will be magically supplied with a new outfit. This ancient subterranean city is right beneath an inn, and no one is aware of it.
How did you get in? We don't open until midday.
But you have a customer in the corner of the room already.
By the balance, you're from the other side, aren't you?
The first person Zoe runs into in this world knows all about people traveling from other worlds, and this isn't something that happens too often. What are the odds?
You must go see Minstrel Magda immediately. She will explain everything.
Why can't you just help her? You already seem to know everything about shifters, and this Minstrel Magda does nothing once you find her.
Did you say April Ryan?
Yeah. Do you know her?
No, I don't recognize the name. You need to see Minstrel Magda, child.
Since you know Zoe is a shifter like April, and the fact that April is staying at your inn right now, you should just tell Zoe that April's in the back instead of sending her out into the world she knows nothing about to find Magda. If you were going to have a pub named the Salty Seaman, you would best let me go inside. Okay, that's not even subtle innuendo anymore. That's straight up lewd.
How do I know you won't lead me into a dark alley, knock me out, tie me up, and drag me into a basement somewhere?
I promise I won't drag you into a basement.
If someone has to swear not to rape you, it's probably not worth trusting them in the first place. What, no trigger warning?
I don't need saving. You've got the wrong woman.
I don't think so. This girl, she led me to your room where I found the picture. It can't be a coincidence.
It can't? You're sure about that?
Yeah, this is pretty clear cut. I mean, the ghost girl showed Zoe to your old room that contained a photo of you, and she said your name repeatedly.
You got problems, you figure them out. That's what I had to do. I'm done with the saving of the world.
For those of you wondering, April was the protagonist in the first game, and no, I won't be sending it. They really couldn't come up with a better effect than despawning Zoe when she switches between worlds. I honestly thought the game glitched when this happened.
Your skill with the sword is unmatched, Kian, and so is your faith.
This is Arcadia's version of the Middle East, but all I can think about is that it's full of red-haired Scotsmen.
But the mission, Garmon.
Politics. When did you become a woman?
Your empire is run by a matriarchy. Would this even be considered an insult?
With great talent comes great responsibility.
I believe that line comes from the Book of Marvel, chapter 1, verse 3 of Uncle Ben.
Apostle Kian, we need you to travel east to those heathen lands, to bring the word to the heretics.
There is a man who leads these rebellious few.
The sixth consul referred to April as a man while instructing Kian to find and kill her. I'm not really sure how they got April's description so messed up. This country is run by women, so they don't even have the male prejudice to just assume the rebel leader was male.
Can we trust him?
If not him, then who? He is our most faithful apostle.
He knows not to question our word.
Shouldn't you have had this discussion before you all decided to give Kian this mission? Who gives a person a secret mission and then questions that person's loyalties after he leaves on it?
I decrypted Reza's notes. Well, most of them. Okay, some of them. I'm still working on it, but I found out that he was investigating Watti Corp. But he was in contact with 2 people at Watti, one of whom was the dead girl in his apartment. From his notes, my guess is that after leaving Newport, he would be heading to Watti City.
Either Reza got lazy and started using weaker encryption towards the end of his notebook, or Olivia's decrypting it starting with the last entries. Also, why would Reza not be extra careful with the names and locations of his sources? All of the information from his journal has led to key people in his investigation. That plane might want to consider flying a bit higher than a few feet above sea level. One random wave and that thing is going down. The in-flight movie to Japan is the same thing you would see if you looked out the window.
So tell me about the tower.
It is as most things, Azadi. Large, wasteful, and arrogant. I have never seen its like. They are building a ladder to the heavens.
Heavy-handed biblical references.
And that girl didn't ask you for help.
Which girl?
From that place that we can't talk about. She asked for your help, and you just dismissed her.
Bryn, who was pretty fixated on killing Zoe after kidnapping her, suddenly pulls a 180 and is now upset that April isn't doing anything to help Zoe, even though April helped her get back to her own world, which was all she was asking for. The Azadi emissary and the Prophet can't see April spying on them through that well-lit window. The Prophet speaks only in the language of ASMR. I'm honestly surprised that the Azadi emissary doesn't fall asleep while listening to him. That is what ASMR is for.
Sadir has sent an apostle to take care of that particular problem. They say that he is one of the best.
Yeah, he didn't actually ask anything there as far as I can tell. All he said was in a barely audible whisper. Good thing he did too, or April would have learned that they sent someone to kill her. In a fortunate twist, the ASMR Prophet goes from the tower to the inn where April and her people were staying in order to use the secret tunnels that Zoe used when she first arrived. Watti Corp's headquarters are located in an old Japanese fortress on top of a mountain in a rural village. Seems like a legit place for a tech company to set up shop. Walking around a small Japanese town, buying stuff from vending machines, talking to badly voice-acted children, awkward combat mechanics. Suddenly I'm getting Shinryu flashbacks.
So, the person you need to get in touch with is one Damien Cavanaugh, with a C, and an A-U-G-H. And an A-V-A-N in the middle.
What kind of madwoman spells a person's name by saying the first 2 letters, then the last 4 letters, then the middle 3 letters of that person's last name? The security guard gets on this kid's case for reaching toward the museum exhibit. However, the force field surrounding it has a palm print image, which one has to touch to hear the details of the exhibit.
Unlike the Wattila we know today, the prototype was also programmed to randomly wet itself.
Why would you design a robot to do that? I can sort of understand the baby dolls that do that, but an intelligent robot?
He is also known for being the first robot with ADHD.
Watti Corp is like Willy Wonka meets Skynet.
Oops, my bad. I just really need a bathroom.
I told you already, no bathroom.
Oh, no bathroom here. You pee in corner.
Do you want some gum?
This feels wrong. Is Chris Hansen watching? So is there a switch on that robot's crotch that makes it go berserk?
Gojira!
Not even close, buddy. Suddenly I'm getting Hitman flashbacks. Awkward elevator ride joke goes on for 40 seconds.
Hold on a second. Let me just...
What did you just do?
I made sure that this remains a private conversation.
Why would anyone be bugging your office in the first place? No one suspects you. I'm pretty sure Damien was just deleting his browser history.
I found her in Jericho's apartment. She was hooked up to this white plastic thing, and there were wires going into her head.
The Dreamer.
What?
That's what it's called. A Dreamer. It's not supposed to kill you.
I know. They hooked me up to one.
They did, but you don't know that. You were unconscious when the twins hooked you up to it, and it was gone when you woke up.
About 3 months ago, something happened. There was a contamination in the network that connects each Dreamer console with the central processor, Dream Core. I used to work on the network code, the parts that link the Dreamers with DreamNet.
In the future, even dreams require an always-on internet connection.
We discovered the truth behind Project Altura, behind DreamNet, behind the Dreamers. Watti isn't making these things to entertain people. They're making them to spy on and to control people. DreamNet was designed to record people's dreams, and DreamCore was designed to analyze them. Watti Corp can extract private and personal information about anyone who's ever been connected to a Dreamer.
Hate to break it to Watti Corp, but Facebook, Microsoft, and pretty much every single big software platform already beat you to that market.
By feeding data back through the Dreamer, they can plant thoughts, instructions, even hypnotic suggestions in people's heads.
However, this game did beat Inception to this idea by 4 years. I can't help but feel that a simple security camera would be more effective than these spider robots that you can walk right up to without being noticed.
I can shut down the necessary grids if you can patch me into the closed circuit system down there. Locate and remove the wall panel marked PSA1.
There's something in that wall. There's a sliding panel here. and it's marked PSA1.
Where? I see no markings on this security panel.
After you've scanned both the worm and yourself, you need to locate a key to the core room. The security officer in shift won't be in his office. I'll make sure of that. But Rio told me they always keep a spare key around.
Sure, it's convenient that every single thing Zoe needs to get into the Dream Core is in the offices right outside its holding tank. I think it just got the Dream Core pregnant.
There have been fresh outbreaks of static interference across the wire, coinciding with violent fluxes in Angana.
Since Watti Corp also wants to know the cause of the static infecting the Dream Core and other systems around the world, why haven't they tried injecting this tracer worm into it already? According to Damien, this will let him track the origin point of the signal. And Damien is just a programmer. Meanwhile, these scientists who created it are clueless on how to stop the static.
It could be catastrophical.
Multiple Google searches for the word catastrophical that turned up no results is enough evidence for me to say it's not a real word.
That's him, the man I've been following. I haven't seen any other boats here. I'll need to find some other way to get to the other side.
Apparently, swimming is not an option. Instead, April has to sneak her way through catacombs filled with monsters and really annoying puzzles. What I'm trying to say is fuck this part. Fuck this part in particular. Seriously, speak up. Also, this is the last time we see the Prophet in this game. Haven't learned nothing about him and what he's trying to do.
It's like a million voices or dreams, trapped, stored.
We're standing in front of a well of trapped dreams and voices. Let's go see what Zoe is up to. Every time this game gets to an interesting point, it cuts away to another character.
Do a sweep of that office. Yes, sir.
Don't bother checking your left flank though. I'm sure there's no way anyone could be hiding in that person-sized alcove. Game uses the same elevator joke it used earlier.
Find April. Save April.
I did. I found her. But what is it you want me to do? She doesn't need to be saved.
Save me.
At this point, I just want the ghost from the Grudge to show up and kill her. Incidentally, that will soon be a real thing. Hey, it's Urgot from League of Legends. Yeah, no one's gonna play him in the future either. He just never fits into the meta, man. Dreamfall's boob rendering technology is 10 years behind Metro Last Light. And since these are man boobs, I don't even have to censor them.
Security will be here in a few seconds.
So why aren't they here already? Do they even know about this place? I think you're bluffing.
He runs the company. Bluffing like this is not wise, as we will see in just a moment.
Your friend, he was not prepared. When he hooked himself up to the dreamer, I saw him. All of him. And I fed on him. You were in there, in his head, in his dreams. All of you. Naked, writhing, alive, sweating, mooning. I enjoyed that. It made me hard.
Careful, you're risking a front page article on Polygon. I think we should just stand here and let her get away. How about you?
As for this place you discovered deep below us, this chamber of dreams.
I'm not sure that's the right word, but I don't know how else to describe it.
Chamber of Secrets, maybe? Or would that bring on a lawsuit?
I tried going back through, but the rock's solid. There's half a mile of mountain between us and the caves. Without the portal, there's no way down there.
Then how did you get out? The portal in the end closed behind her, and she had no way of opening it like Zoe did.
I'm confused.
About what, child?
I'm not sure what to do, and I would appreciate your advice.
The next act of this game is April trying to find out what she needs to do, which turns out to be nothing. Oh, the suspense.
There is someone out there who might be able to help you.
Who?
An old friend of yours. The White of the Drake kin. I'm certain that someone in this city can help you locate her.
Well, I'll be damned.
Benrime thinks there's someone who can help April find the White Dragon, and through the front door walks someone who can. That's unfortunate timing.
I'm looking for a way to get to the city of the Dark People.
I believe they prefer the term Dark Arcadians, thank you.
By the way, did you ever read that pamphlet they published? The one with the amusing drawings? April, Rye Bread, and the Rod of Joy?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, I'll never forget that illustration where the Dolmari lady takes the Rod of Joy and sticks it right...
Anyway...
Why does everyone in this game want to have sex with the main characters in the weirdest ways? If your game has a character with a saddle built right into its ass, you'd best let me write it.
It's one of the Dark People. A dark person. He's probably a shadow god. The captain of that shadow ship.
Even right angles aren't as edgy as Dark People.
Oh, never again shall I glance upon the top 10 reasons why you should not build a flying castle on page 42 and smile knowingly.
Even in an alternate dimension of magic, BuzzFeed still finds a way to use clickbait articles.
We collect all that is written and recorded. Books, scrolls, stones, crystals. History,
Poetry, journals, stories.
What about Linkin Park lyrics? No wonder this world is desperate for a machine that lets you have lucid dreams. All they show on TV are looping videos of mountains and oceans.
And you're helping me out, so the least I can do is let you sleep in my bed. That didn't come out right.
Damien continues the trend of every male wanting to sleep with Zoe and April.
This is it, Apostle. The Empire's greatest achievement east of Sadir. A monument to our might and to our faith.
I'm pretty sure he could see that tower long before he was standing at the base of it. Lady, your quill is writing over the words you already wrote. Move your hand down a few lines to some blank space. This is the same problem that guy in the opening had.
The Six will travel all the way from Sadir to be here for that momentous occasion. But I bore you. You already know this.
Then there was no need to tell him that, was there?
We should be grateful that an apostle will lend his sword to the task. These terrorists, they have become more than a nuisance.
Wait, this fantasy world has the very modern concept of terrorists? Shouldn't they be rebels or the resistance?
Those bothersome few make life miserable for everyone. They seek liberty and democracy.
Oh, those evil terrorists, wanting freedom in elections. Facial scars, arrogant attitude, automatically talks down to Kian. I think we've all seen this character trope enough to know where this is going.
So this is your fabled city. It's stunning.
It is one city. It never ceases to move. It flows at the will of the cosmos, at the mercy of waves and currents.
How though? It's a bunch of trees sticking out of a swamp. Yet this is a floating island right in the middle of the ocean.
I've never been able to distinguish one dark person from another. And I'm not even sure it's possible.
That's racist.
Hello, April. How nice to see you again. Thanks ever so much for leaving me hanging dry on that mountain path. 8 bloody years ago!
You were way too late in the game to be introducing the comic relief animal.
Don't go playing your wily mind games on me, woman.
That's sexist.
It's not in my vocabulary to explain. And this narrow mouth can't articulate the words.
If you're capable of articulating the word articulate, I'm pretty sure you can say any word you want.
I can never get a straight answer out of anyone in this world.
This conversation is so meta.
But you're right. You can't do it on your own. This one needs to help you.
According to the White Dragon, Crow being present can help April shift again. It's never explained how Crow's presence does this. In fact, it looks like the White Dragon does way more than him in helping April open a portal to the Guardian's realm.
So I can shift again now?
No. Not on your own. I don't know why. That's just the way it is.
Translated from writer's speak, that means we didn't bother coming up with a reason.
Lucky for you, I have a soft spot for pretty ladies.
You're a bird. The fact that you find human women sexy is disturbing.
Can't they just shut it down?
Maybe, but they won't do that now. They'd have to shut down the entire project, and if they wait, the window of opportunity is shrinking.
Why? Is there some other company with a giant dream monster in their corporate office trying to beat them to market? There's no reason they can't delay the launch of the Dreamer until they sort out the static that's killing people.
It's not safe. Pete's... he might find you.
He won't. He told me so himself. He couldn't get inside me. That's what frustrated him so much.
Phrasing?
If I go back inside, I might be able to speak with that girl again, the one Pete is so afraid of. And maybe she can help me get back to that place.
To Arcadia?
Damien just told you that in a few days he will know where the static intrusion began, and then you can go stop it there. Going back to Arcadia to ask April for help accomplishes nothing, since there's really nothing she can do to help you here in this world. They've had a total of 2 conversations and they're already rounding first base. I'm willing to believe that Dr. Manhattan is powerful enough to appear in any story that he wants, but what happened to his penis exactly?
I'm just as surprised as you are, Gordon. How have you been?
I don't know. This place. I'm both a part of it and apart from it. I'm no longer who I once was, though. I remain who I once was.
It wasn't just a look of Dr. Manhattan they borrowed, but also the entire character. This guy used to be human before being transformed into the Guardian, and he also has a tendency to talk in circles.
I know this. Your role in these events has come to an end. You are not the one who will set things right this time.
In other words, your plot armor has been revoked.
You're free. Go live your life. Let the past go.
All this work just for the Guardian to tell April that she isn't the main character anymore and has shit all to do with anything, which seems strange since the Ghost Girl has been telling Zoe to save April throughout the entire game.
Don't worry about the drug. It won't harm you. It's a mild sedative and hallucinogenic. It'll help you sleep and dream.
I'm not a big fan of drugs.
Me neither, but for the time being, the dreamer requires it.
Who wouldn't want a crippling drug addiction to go along with a plant that acts like a facehugger when you turn it on? I guess this game couldn't handle more than one enemy at a time, so the other rebel waits patiently for you to kill his friend before fighting you. Character we've never met before spills info on where to find April and her friends.
That is an animal, not a thinking, feeling person. It cannot be. Our teachings are clear on that matter.
That's racist.
She, this thing, she is obviously female. A woman. Her features may not be human, but she is attractive.
I'm not one to kink shame, but Kian has some weird repressed fetishes.
I shall be alone with her.
I beg your pardon? No, that's not how things are done here. Local laws apply, and they are abundantly clear. During interrogations, an independent body must be present to ensure the legality of said process. And I am that independent body.
For a prejudiced, fanatical government, they have a pretty solid legal system.
3 soldiers saw you materialize out of thin air in the middle of the marketplace. If you're not a witch, then how did you do that?
Someone else sent me here to Marcuria. I'm from the south. I'm not a spy, and I'm not a witch.
I see. I believe you.
That was easy. Zoe wasn't even very convincing, had to stop talking halfway when she almost let slip that she was from another world.
Pardon, mistress. Do I know you from somewhere? You are familiar to me.
No, you don't. You think the Scorpion is a man and have no description of what that person is like, so April shouldn't be ringing any bells in your head.
I'm embarrassed to say there are even those who are happy you've rounded up all the non-humans and stuck them in a ghetto. So sure, there are those who are grateful and those who have gained a lot from your presence here. As for the silent majority, well, who wants to rock the boat?
April's political speech on the Azadi goes on forever. John Galt from Atlas Shrugged would tell her to wrap it up already.
Tell her that we're here to break her out, but we need her help in order to do that. Ask her to look around the cell, check the walls, the floor, the door, see if she can find a way to get out of there.
That's the plan, huh? We're here to encourage you to look for a way out of your cell.
Up here!
Well, I'm pretty certain she could get through that wide, barless window that you flew through if you brought her a rope.
I thought you were breaking me out.
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just a messenger, see? And I don't want to get shot because of that whole messenger thing.
This passes for comedic writing, does it?
Will you sing me a song?
Song?
Yeah. A jingle. A ditty. A rhythmic series of musical notes.
Describing something multiple times in a row is not funny. I should know.
Magic's always a good answer. You can't go wrong with magic. That's my final answer.
Crow just made a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire reference. I shouldn't have to explain, but Crow lives in a world where neither that show or television exist. And second, even if he did come from Zoe's world, it's still 200 years in the future, meaning no one would remember Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh, what do you need? A love potion? Acne away? Webbed toes no more? Some sort of a scented lubricant?
Seriously, what is with the constant weird sex shit?
Settle down, you. And put those trousers back on. Disgraceful.
At this point, a prison guard watching an inmate jerk it no longer fazes me. Zoe should be knocked out by the gas as well.
I heard something that could be of use. There's another guard between this floor and the bottom floor, and he just ordered a sandwich.
To break out of this prison, we have to go make a man a sandwich. Empowerment.
I have your lunch delivery.
Very good, very good. Leave it on the table, please. Good day.
I can bring the sandwich upstairs if you want. Sounded like your man was quite hungry.
He never made a phone call. Phones don't even exist here. Why would you even try to fool him like this? And why did it work? This prison would be a lot harder to break out of if they had bars on the windows. Also, I mentioned doing this exact same thing with a window in Zoe's cell.
But he told me that my role in this thing is over, that I'm free.
So what? You're just going to walk away? You're not going to help me? What am I supposed to do?
Lady, she just broke you out of prison. A little gratitude wouldn't hurt.
I have others to take care of.
Fine. If I have to do this on my own, I will. Have a nice life, April Ryan.
What is it you are expecting her to do? She has no connection to Reza or Watti Corp. The only connection she has to your world now is a little ghost girl who wants you to do something for her. You got this all backwards.
Wait up! Hey! Phew! You're a fast walker.
How would a bird flying around have any trouble keeping up with a human walking down a street?
I'm a member of the guild. No, that's not a joke. I was actually inducted into the Guild of Sidekicks after April and I saved the world.
Here's a bird who's seen some DreamWorks movies.
You're young and inexperienced and, let's face it, as lost as a babe in the woods. No sexism intended.
Repeated head desk moments.
There's a bloke that April knows. He's in the city now. He's got a beard and he's an adult. A perfect combination. His name is Brian Westhouse.
How do you know that? You reunited with April on the Dark One's Island, which was after April met Westhouse at the inn and learned what the White Dragon was. I'm not sure if she's cowering in fear or doing a sick dab.
I'll give you one last chance to save your neck, witch. You will help me find someone, or you will die. And not just you. We will send the proprietor of this tavern to Sadir to stand trial for treason. As for your friends who've just left harbor, their ship will be boarded and the supplies confiscated.
Shouldn't you have done that anyways if you knew the ship was full of rebels? You are looking for the Scorpion and that was a potential lead.
I seek only one person. The one my people call the Scorpion.
The Scorpion?
What do you know of him?
Considering that Kian just called the Scorpion a he and you know that April's the Scorpion, you passed up a good opportunity to throw Kian off the trail. I mean, you do seem pretty remorseful about betraying April.
Crow told me you might be able to help.
I might? What is it you need my help with?
To get home, I guess.
This is the second time you've come to Arcadia, and this is the second time your objective is to get back to your own world. Coming here was completely pointless. All you did was get yourself arrested. And you should already know that you just need one of the magicals to help send you back. That's what you did the last time. This time, however, you have to go see the White Dragon.
I don't know. I still don't trust a bird without wings. I'm keeping my eyes on you, sister. One wrong move, and bam! You'll feel the wrath of my beak.
And here I always believed Iago was the most annoying bird in fiction.
So, hey, if we hit April with a really big frying pan, she'll come to her senses, right?
What? No.
Yes, it's called therapy. I read about it somewhere. Well, not read, more like heard. But I remember the fella who told me. A real therapist he was. Wait, maybe it was rapist.
I'm surprised I've never seen an article on Polygon condemning this game.
Glad to help, doll.
Doll?
I mean, independent and self-reliant female person who's not an object to be ogled at or used solely for my own personal amusement and pleasure.
Oh, that's why they didn't do the article.
Can I touch you?
Can you... What do you mean by...
People in this game are weird. I'm tired of trying to come up with funny ways of saying the same thing.
You've come to me for the same reason April came to me not long ago. You're stuck.
Even the game admits that it's just repeating itself at this point.
You must find her, Zoe. You must help her.
The White Dragon whispers the same thing the little girl has been whispering to Zoe, causing her to dream herself to a swamp where April is, and instead of helping her like she's supposed to, just kind of watches her die.
I have never before doubted the righteousness of my mission. The goddess is the one true deity, and we must bring her light to the darkest places. And yet, I have seen and heard many things in my brief time here in the Northlands. I have seen with my own eyes how ignorance and fear are leading some of my people astray, how arrogance and distrust threaten to corrupt our mission. I have witnessed deeds of which you spoke so passionately when we first met, that have lifted a veil from my eyes.
Really? That long-winded college freshman level political speech completely changed your worldview? I've read posts on our politics that were more convincing. Uh-oh, the Inception soundtrack is attacking.
I knew you were weak, Apostle, but I never imagined you would go so far as to betray your own people.
You don't know that he's done that. He came here to kill the Scorpion. He just ran into someone he met earlier and had a talk. And there is no way you overheard them talking from your airship.
Is this who you were sent to kill?
To kill?
No. I was about to tell you. I did not know who you were. I came to find the Scorpion and I found you in his place.
Yeah, and the magical told you that you would find the Scorpion on the pier, exactly where you found April. Did she never tell you that the Scorpion was a woman, or what April looks like?
You have betrayed the Six. You have strayed from the path, and you have forsaken the mission.
Again, you didn't hear any of that. So about that whole saving April Ryan thing. The last time Zoe fell asleep and traveled back to her own world, her clothes stayed here in Arcadia. This time they despawned with her.
Zoe, I hope you get this message. I had to leave quickly. The worm was... They found it, and they will track it back to me. I didn't want to leave you, but I had no choice.
So Damien left and just figured Zoe would wake up in time to get his message before Watti Corp raided the place? Zoe, every man in your life is a dick.
The intrusion into Dreamfall originated in Russia, just outside St. Petersburg. I've sent you the exact coordinates, along with a map. If I manage to get out of here, that's where I'll be heading.
Why not just tell her you're going to meet her somewhere in Russia before going to the source of the static? In fact, Damien disappears from the game at this point.
According to this, I'm standing exactly in the location where the intrusion originated.
According to what? You're just standing there. You're not checking your coordinates against anything. Zoe jumps down the hole in the floor, but in the next shot is climbing up out of a hole in the lab beneath her. I hate to break it to you, Dreamfall, but there was already a game that ripped off the Ring by having an evil corporation lock a girl in a lab and experiment on her until she died. So this game is now ripping off Fear, which in turn ripped off the Ring. So after all that talk about wanting to find Reza and stop Watti Corp, you just went home after finally finding out about Faith? You still have no idea if Reza is alive. And Damien said he would meet you in Russia at the abandoned factory, and he never did.
You've been on a very long journey.
That's close enough for a roll credits.
I want to stop Watti Corp from releasing the Dreamer.
And yet, the thing Chang asked Zoe to do doesn't stop Watti Corp from releasing the Dreamer.
I planted a bug on you when we first met, Zoe. It's been sending me data at regular intervals.
Even if you did do that, Zoe has changed her clothes twice during her travels. Not to mention, traveled to other worlds. And that doesn't even explain why you would do that in the first place. Zoe was just a courier there to pick up the package from you for Reza.
I'm going to give you a highly concentrated dose of Morpheus, more than what you've received before.
By now, with the amount of drugs Zoe's been pumped full of, I'm surprised she's not rocking a heart addiction.
Hi. You must be Faith. I'm Zoe.
I know.
What are you doing?
Playing.
Oh, so you can say more than "Save April" in a low whisper. Why did you wait until now?
You've been helping me, haven't you, Faith?
The White Lady told me to.
Oh. What did the White Lady say?
She said to talk to you.
Did she tell you that I had to save April Ryan?
Yes.
This White Lady stuff better be explained in the sequel, because they don't bother explaining any of it in this game.
What did she say?
She said it's all fine. She said you did good. She said you saved April.
She did? I guess I'll have to take your word on that.
That's what she said? That I saved April?
You saw April die, though. You know that's not right. Why aren't you questioning that?
Why me? Why did you talk to me, Faith?
Because you're like me. You're my sister.
Oh, I see. We're going with that kind of plot twist, aren't we?
I can't promise you anything, but I believe there's something better waiting for you. I have faith.
This is why you don't name characters things like Faith and Hope. It leads to dialogue like this.
I'm sorry about this, Zoe, but I can't let you wake up again.
Why? She did what you wanted and helped Faith finally die. And you were already wanted by Watti Corp. Putting Zoe into a coma isn't going to cover your tracks. Ooh, now that has to be cold.
You see, Zoe, this universe and everything in it is like an endlessly thick book containing countless stories.
That's amazing.
Neat.
You're here to tell me a story, Zoe.
But she just finished telling everyone her story. Wouldn't it have made more sense from a narrative perspective to have had Zoe telling her story to this guy from the beginning rather than us?
So where do I begin?
At the beginning, Zoe.
Why does everyone need to be told to start at the beginning? It's storytelling 101. Let's see, April is dead, Kyan is in prison, Zoe's in a coma, Westhouse killed the White Dragon, and then Dreaming is apparently unchained. We've sequel baited so hard the ending is unraveling. Surely that means they worked on the sequel right after finishing this. Oh, it took 10 years and a Kickstarter. Nice.
It made me hard